Hi everyone, and welcome along to day 11 on the Advent calendar. Let's see what's behind the door. An Advent candle wreath. So we've got the 4 days of Advent throughout December, the 4 Sundays, where candles get lit in churches, in the Christian church. And because we're only part way through, we've just got 2 candles lit. It might be a nice thing that maybe you can light the candles as we go through. But anyway, grab your paints and let's get started. So today we need 4 upright candles, and they're going to be in a wreath. So we'll have some, I'm going to have them at different heights as well, because at Christmas, well, as far as I'm aware, that they get, one gets burnt on the first Sunday of Advent, and then the next Sunday another one starts and another one, and so I admit that we're only halfway through at the moment, so these 2 candles are still quite tall. These ones are burning, but basically what we've got here is we have 4 upright cylinders for our candles, and then we're going to place in some lovely foliage. So we're going to sort of take a similar approach to the wreath that we painted on day 1, if you remember back that far. So I'm going to pick up some colours in my palette that will go really nicely with green and make up some different shades of green. Just got to keep cleaning off my brush in between each time. Okay. So now I'm mixing the Payne's grey in with the sap green there, and then we put it in with the blue just to the right. And a little bit in with the yellow. Lovely, 4 different shades, and of course the original sap green too. So I'm going to start with my lightest colours first, and I've got my size 0 brush. So our wreath is on its side this time. So we've got the front section. So I'm just sort of playing around, making marks with the brush. Sort of looks like a load of salad or something on a plate at the moment. And then I'm going to sort of carefully place in the wreath behind, but obviously we need it to go behind this candle, because this candle's on the front of the wreath, but this candle is at the back, and behind that candle too, but in front of that one. Okay, we'll let that dry and then paint in the next section. I'm going to take my smaller brush now, and I'm going to paint in some holly. If you haven't watched the day 1 tutorial, I highly recommend you go and have a look at that. But also I'll just talk you through once again how we do the holly. It's quite fiddly at this size, but it does work really nicely. So what we do is we do a line, and then I do from the top point, 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 and back, fill in one side, and then do the same on the other side, attempting to leave a little bit of unpainted space. And of course it could be tucked in to the wreath so you don't see it all. So I'm just going to add in holly where I see fit, and then we can move on to the next stage. You'll notice that I've just put holly on the front half of the wreath, and I'm going to continue now by just placing in the spruce. So this is with the green and Payne's grey. Because what I want to do is really fill this up and get that contrast between the foreground and the background. There will be some detail on the back half, but we need to make sure that none of it gets in the way of the front side. So this is a nice little exercise. If you were worried this was basically the same tutorial as the first, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see we've got a new technique. And of course we've got our candles as well. I'm going to have the candles in a nice sort of reddy pink colour. So mixing the Alizarin Crimson and the Cadmium Red together, and that'll be really nice for the holly berries too. So I'm going to paint in the tall straight ones first. And I'm going to clean my brush off, just outline that candle. See, there's so much colour on my brush. Oh, look at that. There we go. And just allow that colour to create a bit of a shine on the candle. And we've got another one here. What might be quite nice is, if you want, as you reach the various days in Advent where the candles might be lit in your local church or community, you could always come back and paint in the flames. That might be nice. Okay, so we've got two nice shiny candles, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to begin at the top, and I'm doing a sort of wobbly top, and I'm going to do a bit of a drip a sort of dripping top on both these candles, so it's like a wobbly outline. Clean off my brush, and I'll just give it a little bit of a colour. Okay, I'm going to let those dry whilst I just pop in some holly berries on the front. And then I'm going to go back to those candles just with a very little bit of quite dilute colour on my brush. And there you can see they look like the wax has dripped down really nicely. I'm going to pop in a little flame for both of these. So Just a little sort of teardrop shape, and if you wanted we could mix in a little bit of red with the yellow, make an orange, and just get an extra little dab of colour in there. Need a little wick on those, and when those have dried we'll add a wick to those as well. But now for just the background of adding in just a little bit more detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this colour and just dilute it down a bit. This is my holly colour, and I'm going to just paint some sort of slightly simplified shapes. So you can see I've just placed in the slightly fainter colours on the backhand side, and I'm not going to pop in any berries just to make that a different thing as well. And then we'll get the wicks in, and there you have your Advent candle wreath for the 11th of December. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.